Hi everyone, it's Heidi Tehana. Ready for some Tehana time? I just felt I thought I would bring up and let's talk about plasma physics in relation to what it is we're creating here on this planet. I find it fascinating. You guys have probably heard, what we think about is what we create. Watch your thoughts, watch your beliefs, all those kinds of things. That attraction part of it. And actually, science, actually, plasma physics actually shows us how this is all actually happening. So I thought I'd just kind of combine that because a lot of times you hear it in the, what do you call it, the woo-woo world or spiritual world or even in the psychological world, how our thoughts are manifesting our reality. Well, if you're interested, you can go to thekeshfoundation.org. Myron Kesh has put a lot of information out about plasma physics for free. There's also, you can go to the Resonance Academy. There's a bunch of stuff on there for free. And lots of people have been talking about plasma physics, and it's been showing us how, there's a new science out there. It's science of spaceship technologies, of living in space, of changing our whole medical field. Basically, it's the science of the future, the science of our new paradigm, which we're stepping into right now. And we could step into it right now today if we really wanted to. But plasma physics is really saying that the space that's all around us, the space that's all around me right now, the space that's all around you, we used to think of it that it's empty and that there's nothing in it, but it's actually full of frequencies. It's full of all kinds of magnetic and energetic gravitational type energies that are all around us all the time. And it's conscious. It's always listening. It's paying attention to what it is that we're creating, what it is that we're doing out there. And it's manifesting the reality that we're living in. What is it that the Palladians and Arcturians have, talked to me before about how our consciousness is, that precedes thought, and we are our consciousness. We are bigger than these bodies. That's our consciousness is actually what's creating this, this physical body that we're in. But it's, our thoughts, move further than that and actually create our expectations, which creates the perceptions that we're seeing all around us, which is the reality that we're living in. So basically going back to plasma physics, so space isn't empty, it's full of frequencies, and we are these beings, electromagnetic beings. And if you think about it, some of you guys might already know, but we have like a toroidal field that goes around us. It comes in and around and down, however you want to see that. It's, there's a field, a maggrav field, magnetic gravitational field around all of us, around all the rocks, around all the plants, around the trees, basically everything around the planet, around our organs, around, everything that's out there, our food, and, keep going. And it goes out into space and it goes out into the galaxies. You'll see how that kind of spins around. In fact, that's the, what is that? The Fibonacci sequence, the phi relation, PHI, of where, basically consciousness starts, the oneness, that point, and then spirals out. And you could say that as it spirals out, it's creating our physical bodies. It's creating our consciousness. The oneness is creating everything around us. But those open spaces in between that spiral is where we get stuck sometimes. It's where the space junk accumulates. It's where some of our experiences, our traumas, our emotions, get stuck in those places. And so I was thinking, a lot of us understand it mentally, but a lot of us don't understand what it is with plasma physics, how we are really creating our reality and how we can control and really create knowingly and on purpose our realities. So back to plasma physics. So you have these toroidal fields that are going around. You have this magnetic gravitational field that's around us, and a couple different terms that Myron Kesh uses is magnetic actually repels and the gravitation actually pulls and attracts. So whatever it is that we're thinking, we immediately put out there. We immediately magnetize it out into the universe, out into all of space, and we're creating it As the more intention that's there, more emotions that are there, it comes back to us gravitationally. So it comes back to us creating that reality, and it's constant. So, unless we're really paying attention to our thoughts and paying attention to, everything that we're thinking, we might not even realize what it is that we are creating. So, everything's listening. It's so important to be aware of what it is that you're putting out in the world and what's coming back to you, because our emotions and our beliefs actually limit to us. And wow, when you think about that, it kind of goes, if you go into belief systems and those kinds of things, which I wrote a book all about what if belief systems are just BS. And think about it for a second. Think about, where did you get your beliefs from? Your parents, your teachers, society. There's a whole foundation of beliefs out there. Your religions, your, elders, this is how the universe works. This is what it is. I mean, in fact, I'm spilling a bunch of beliefs right now, right? You can get, beliefs and understandings that you take on for yourself that may not necessarily be yours. They could be from television or books or magazines or newspapers. And it's like, where is all that coming from? And I'm always reminded about that. What do they say? History is written by those that win. Think about that for a second. How do they spin it? What would have the losers had said? What we're finding out all kinds of stuff. In fact, like how there was, in the United States of America, there were plenty of people already living here before, basically, the Spaniards and people from Europe all basically killed them and took it over. So those weren't how I was taught in school, and a lot of that information's, coming out, and the truth is really being exposed. So, I put that out there to you to challenge your beliefs, challenge what it is that you think, how you think, why you think it, what is true. Is it true just because you heard it, from your doctor? Is that true? So really go back within yourself, learn to trust yourself, learn to let go of all those things that are limiting you, learn to let go of all those things that just don't work for you. Because going back to plasma physics, those are the things that you're creating. And now science can show that those are the, things that are out there coming back to us. So, think about some of the things too of just your belief systems, like, what you may have believed 10 years ago may have completely shifted and changed. Like I've been studying all about how our hearts work and how we've had, that view on our hearts, that our heart is a pump since the 1600s. And it's been in the last 20 or so years with Frank Chester coming out with a whole bunch of information. You can find him on frankchester.com. And also Dr. Thomas Cowan. There's some other people out there who've basically shown that the heart is a suction pressure unit and actually functions like this as it moves. And it doesn't pump the blood. It's actually our veins that are pumping the blood. And so when you come into these new belief systems, it's kind of like, wait a second, how does that shift your perspective if the heart's not a pump? So it's just kind of things like that, like realizing that, we are changing, we're expanding, we're evolving, we're learning new things. And so I just wanted to really remind you that, our belief systems, our thoughts are really creating. And this plasma physics is really showing us how it is, the other thing with the plasma systems is just that belief that we have to eat to, get our nutrients. It's like 80% of what we need, we actually get from the space around us. We get it through our skin, from the sun, from, the air, from breathing it in. And really only 20% of it, comes from food. There's yogis out there, there's breatharian people, and that's what they've learned to do. They've learned to take in 100% of what they need from the frequencies around them. And, that's really what plasma physics has shown trees to do. These huge trees that are hundreds of years old have these huge energy fields around them. They're living reactors just like we are, and they have huge fields, so they can bring in the nutrients that they need from the space around them. They can bring in the water that they need from the space around them. And, they're showing us plants have been around much longer than we have, and they've figured out these amazing systems, and they're teaching us about plasma physics and more about our realities. But so anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about plasma physics, just about our belief systems and what we're thinking. Really question your thoughts, get to know your truth, get to trust yourself, get to know your intuition. I always talk about putting my hand on my heart, but really dive into that and feel that. And one last thing I'll leave you with, because I know a lot of people said, well, just shift your thoughts. Well, sometimes it's not that easy, especially when we have these old patterns that are ingrained and stuck in us, in our bodies, and they come up and they're these fears. Just stop for a second when you have that reaction. Feel it, be that observer of it. And, emotions are really energy in motion. Allow it to move through you. Allow it to, to feel it. A lot of us don't want to feel it, so we resist it. And then that makes it worse, because then it just keeps persisting. But if we can feel it, if it's intense anger, feel it. And, usually within 30 seconds, a minute or less, it's gone. It's been transmuted. So, you can do that, or you can also, like, if you have a negative thought and you're paying attention to your thoughts, be curious about it. Be that observer, detach from it. Wonder why I have that thought, what, do I want that thought? Shift it to something positive, to a thought that brings you joy, because then, if you continue to have that negative thought, it'll give you more negative thoughts, and then it kind of snowballs. So, there's that plasma physics again. So really become the conscious creator that you are, that that you are. And, these are just some of the things that we're learning here in a physical reality that we've incarnated in. And once we know the rules of the game, it gets to be a lot more fun to create what we want. So anyway, you can go to the keshfoundation.org. You can go to, I talked a little bit about the heart. You can go to frankchester.com and learn more about his work. He's got some amazing things all about the heart. And I know Dr. Thomas Cowan, Cowan, has a lot of information just about the heart and how it works and the new, understandings behind it. So, with that, I think I'll leave you with that. All right. Carry on. Watch your thoughts, create beautiful things with everything you're thinking, because those are, magnetically and gravitationally coming to you. All right. Take care. Have a great one. Bye, guys.